Okay, I am backstage here with Madison McGhee at CrimeCon. We're actually signing programs. Yeah. So, Madison, we're going to keep signing them, not to be rude to you viewers. We're going to keep working, but
we got a lot to get
other
through.
work in, right. Okay, so tell me why you're here at CrimeCon.
I am here because I've sort of become an accidental investigative journalist. I started investigating my dad's murder from 2002. It's an unsolved case, and I started a podcast about it, and that sort of turned into this accidental career
where you're investigating
this.
So what can you tell me about what happened to your dad?
Yeah, so on July 11th, 2002, at about 6 in the morning, my dad's next door neighbor, who happened to be his sister, her house was broken into by 4 men. They tied up my dad's sister, her son Omar, and his girlfriend Kim. And they were in the house, sort of ransacking the house for about 30 minutes. Then they take Omar outside. They probably wanted money or something. They take Omar outside. And about 5 minutes later, Kim hears a gunshot. And she triggers the home alarm system. And what happened was they took Omar outside.
How did I reach?
Oh, yes.
You did these?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. You were saying they took Omar outside.
There's this 5-minute weird sort of time frame, and then they end up at my dad's doorstep. My dad hears something going on outside. He gets out of bed. At this point, it's about 6:40 in the morning. So it's summer. It's bright outside. So he's like, what's going on outside? He starts to head towards the front door. Now, my dad is a former drug dealer. At this point, he's a confidential informant. My sister is home. And my dad owned a lot of guns, but he doesn't grab any. So it's presumed that maybe he recognized one of the voices at the front door, because why wouldn't you, grab something? And
where are you?
I am in Texas visiting family that weekend.
Okay, but did you live with your dad?
No.
You didn't? Okay.
But my mom and dad shared me. Okay. So I was supposed to go to my dad's house for the following week for the entire week. So it's a Thursday. I would have gone on Sunday.
Okay.
So I'm not home.
And you're how old?
I'm 6.
You're 6.
So my dad's heading to the front door, and the door is kicked in. Nobody enters the house. 1 kill shot to the head, and they leave. My sister hears our dad hit the floor, and waits about a minute because she doesn't really know what's going on. And a minute later, she comes out to the living room, and she finds our dad taking his last breaths, and she calls 911. The first trigger for 911 was the home alarm system that Kim hit when she heard the gunshot, not knowing what happened. The second was my sister calling 911.
Okay.
And the third, and most bizarre, is Omar runs to the end of the street. There's this brake shop, and he calls 911 from there. He doesn't go back to his house where his mom and his girlfriend are tied up. He goes to the brake shop, and he tells the brake shop owner that his mom and his girlfriend have been tied up, and he's scared that they're going to get killed. But he never mentions gunshots. He never mentions his uncle was just shot.
And how old's Omar?
Omar's about 21 at the time.
So people are going to say, was it Omar?
Was it Omar? Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it was. I think there were 4 other people there who potentially had motive to kill my dad or get money, drugs, something going on there, retaliation, a hit potentially.
Yeah.
And I think either Omar is working with them and somewhat responsible. I don't believe Omar pulled the trigger, but maybe, worked with these guys or something. Or he's so scared of ratting them out that he decides to kind of change his story and go back and forth and make it a big sort of conundrum for everyone investigating the case so that it never gets solved.
Did Omar talk to the police?
He did. He changed his story so many times. They did take a person to a grand jury. And the story goes, according to the prosecutor at the time, that they had to drop the charges because Omar's testimony was so unreliable, it just wouldn't hold up in court.
Oh, wow. Where's Omar today?
Living still at the bottom of the hill from where my dad was killed. Yeah.
Wow.
So the house next door that they broke into, that my dad's sister lived in, actually burnt to the ground about a year later. But Omar, they owned that property, so Omar put a trailer at the bottom of that hill, and that's where he still lives.
So obviously you're much older than 6 now.
Yeah.
When did you start to investigate this?
I'm 30 now.
You're 30. You don't look it.
Thank you.
And why? Like, why after all the years did you decide to?
So I actually didn't know my dad was murdered until I was 16. I think my family was just like, wanted to keep my innocence and didn't want me to know. And I didn't grow up in the area that my dad lived in, and I only saw him, a week, a month, or for a weekend. So it was very easy to kind of pretend like my dad lived in a bit more of a quintessential town than what he actually lived in.
Sure.
And so when I was 16, I found out the truth, and that was a really big moment for me of, I am curious about this, but I'm 16 and I just had graduated high school, and it was like, what am I supposed to do with this information? I'm trying to figure out who I am as a person and where I belong in the world.
Right.
And so I kind of sat on it for a while. My career interests were always in film and television, so it was always in the back of my mind, like, could I use that medium to solve this case? And then Serial came out, and there were other sort of examples of real primetime journalists using a medium that was a little bit of a lower lift than film and TV to, promote and solve crime. And so that was always in the back of my mind. And then during the pandemic, I was sitting at home going, I don't have anything to do. It's the first time in my life time is not an excuse. I don't have lack of time. I have so much time. And I had started revisiting some of the podcasts and documentary series that I watched when I was, younger. Mm-hmm. And a lot of those cases by that point had been solved. And I thought to myself, why not me? Why not this? And so I got access to the case files during the pandemic, and it took me about 3.5 years, but then I put out the first episode of the podcast. And
just on your own?
Yeah, independently. I'm an independent podcast. I make it. I shot and recorded the first 18 episodes in my apartment.
Oh, wow.
Now I'm fortunate I record for free at Spotify, which is very nice, but I own and operate my show independently. All the investigation is by myself.
So,
and, yeah.
What are you presenting here at CrimeCon? What's your
I'm
presentation?
doing a little case update with my good friend Josh Mankiewicz, and we're kind of going to do a little bit of a back and forth about sort of new versus old age media.
Okay.
So I obviously have an independently run podcast, and he's on a show that's been running for a very long time,
Right.
and sort of how both work for solving crime and, I think just kind of utilize your resources, what you have. If you have access to a big TV network, do that. If you don't, do your own thing. And so we're going to kind of talk about the nuances between those and the struggles that we both face in our respective sort of veins. And then some case updates. And then I'm also participating in a panel that I'm actually really excited about, where I'll get to present my victim impact statement that I've never been able to present because this case has never gone to trial.
You and a few other victims, right?
Yeah, there's several. And yeah, they asked me to do it, which was really special because I've never had that chance. So I'm really looking forward to doing that.
What's the name of your podcast?
It's called Ice Cold Case. And yeah, hopefully it's done soon.
Hopefully Ice Cold Case thaws out and is Ice Cold solved case.
Yes, that's the goal. Hopefully it's a pool that I'm swimming in.
Yes. Well, so good meeting you, Madison. Check out her podcast. Is it on YouTube too?
YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. You know the spiel. Yeah.
How many do you think we signed?
Oh.
There's 200?
There's
so
200.
You can pan, honey, and show.
So what?
that
You think we saw maybe 75?
Maybe half.
We saw
Solved,
75.
signed, yeah. If you come to CrimeCon, and are these for platinum members? I
Yes.
believe you get a signed one. So anyway, so good meeting you. I hope the next time we speak, well, after this weekend or by tomorrow, maybe.
Hey.
This is solved, and
Thank
you're
you.
back saying, I solved my dad's murder.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Name of your dad.
John Cornelius McGhee.
John Cornelius McGhee. All right, Madison, good meeting you.
Thanks, you too.